Imagine a world where money works differently. No banks, no complex systems, just value moving freely from person to person, instantly and securely. In this world, financial power isn't limited to a select few, but is accessible to everyone, everywhere, at any time. Pi Network aims to make this a reality, letting anyone mine coins on their phone without expensive hardware or technical expertise. All you need is a smartphone and a few seconds each day to participate. This simple approach has drawn millions worldwide, all building a new digital frontier together. Pi's community is as diverse as the world itself, united by a shared vision of financial inclusion. The open mainnet is the community's most anticipated milestone, the moment Pi coins become tradable on the open market, unlocking new possibilities for users everywhere. Before this, Pi was in a closed testing phase. Now, the city opens for business, inviting the world to participate in a new kind of economy. Pi transforms from an in-app collectible to a real currency, ready to power a new kind of economy. It's a shift from potential to reality, from promise to practice. The vision isn't just trading for profit, it's about building a digital ecosystem, a parallel economy powered by Pi. Imagine buying groceries, booking vacations, or paying for education all seamlessly with Pi. Everyday transactions, big or small, could be powered by the Pi you mined on your phone, making digital currency part of daily life. The open mainnet is the foundation for this world, driven by its users and shaped by their collective actions and trust. For millions of pioneers, this is the moment their patience and belief are tested as they watch their efforts take on real value. It's when the theoretical value of their efforts meets the reality of the market, and the world begins to see what Pi can truly become. The open mainnet marks Pi's transition from experiment to a living economic system where everyone has a stake, and the future of money is shaped by the many, not the few. Now let's tackle the global consensus value, or GCV, a bold, controversial idea in the Pi community that's sparking passionate debates worldwide. GCV isn't just another technical term, it's a concept that challenges how we think about value itself. Unlike typical markets where price is set by supply and demand, GCV is based on a shared agreement among users. It's a price that emerges not from trading bots or market speculation, but from a collective decision, a kind of social contract, among the Pi community. The most discussed GCV for Pi is $314,159 per coin, a nod to the mathematical constant Pi. This number isn't random, it's symbolic, aiming to inspire confidence and unity among users, and to set a high standard for what Pi could represent. If enough people agree on this value and trade accordingly, it becomes the de facto price within the ecosystem. The more people who accept and use this value, the stronger and more stable it becomes, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of trust. This isn't about speculation, it's about collective belief, and building a stable, high-value currency from the start. The GCV model aims to avoid the wild price swings and uncertainty that plague many new cryptocurrencies. The goal is ambitious: make Pi useful for major transactions, not just small purchases. Imagine buying a house, a car, or even starting a business with Pi, all at a value everyone agrees on. GCV is an anchor, encouraging users to spend Pi within the ecosystem instead of cashing out and crashing the price. It's a way to keep value circulating and growing rather than leaking out to external markets. But for GCV to work, millions must coordinate and resist selling Pi for less elsewhere. It requires discipline, patience, and a shared vision for the future of the currency. The GCV is more than a price tag, it's a social contract and a massive experiment in collective belief. It's about testing whether a community can create and sustain value simply by agreeing to do so. Its success depends on unwavering trust and participation from the global community. If the Pi community can maintain this consensus, GCV could redefine how we think about money, value, and the power of shared belief. Could you really buy a house for one Pi coin? If the GCV holds, yes. Imagine a seller listing their $300,000 house for one Pi on a Pi-based marketplace. The buyer, a pioneer with at least one Pi, agrees and does the usual due diligence, inspections, legal checks. The only difference payment is in Pi, not dollars. The buyer sends one Pi via their wallet. The transaction is recorded on the blockchain, fast, secure, and transparent. No banks, no wire fees, no delays. The seller receives one Pi, the buyer gets the keys. Legal paperwork still happens through traditional channels, but the payment is digital. The sale price is noted in local currency, but payment is in Pi. blending new tech with established law. This hybrid approach is essential for legitimacy and recognition. So you've just sold your house for one Pi coin. It sounds almost unbelievable, right? But what happens next? What can you actually do with that single digital coin in your wallet? For that Pi to be worth $314,159, you need to spend it in a thriving, bustling ecosystem where people and businesses truly value Pi as a currency, not just a speculative asset. In a mature Pi economy, you could buy a smaller home, a new or used car, or even upgrade your lifestyle in ways you might not have imagined before. You could invest in a business, support a local entrepreneur, or cover your daily expenses, groceries, utilities, and more, all with just fractions of your Pi. Everyday essentials like internet bills, shopping, and even dining out could be paid to vendors who accept Pi at the global consensus value. You might fund a startup, pay for your child's education, or even enroll in a new course yourself, all using Pi. Or perhaps you'd rather book a luxury trip, travel the world, or enjoy experiences you've always dreamed of. All of this is possible within the ever-expanding Pi marketplace, where new opportunities appear every day. The key is a deep, wide ecosystem offering everything from basic necessities to high-end luxuries, all accessible with Pi. This creates a circular economy. Your Pi moves from you to a car dealer, to employees, to farmers, to service providers, and so on, connecting people everywhere. Each transaction strengthens Pi's value and utility, making it more accepted and trusted. The seller isn't just cashing out, they're moving wealth into a digital asset with access to a new borderless economy. The Pi coin keeps circulating, changing hands, and fueling new possibilities. It powers a network built on belief, participation, and the shared vision of a better financial future. The more it's used, the more valuable and practical it becomes for everyone involved, from individuals to entire communities. That's the promise of a true Pi-powered marketplace, where one coin can open a world of possibilities. Why trade a house for a digital coin?
It's about belief, strategy, and a pioneering mindset. The seller likely sees Pi's future potential. Today's $314,159 could be millions tomorrow. By selling for Pi, they're swapping a slow-growing asset for one with explosive growth potential. It's high risk, high reward. Some want to operate entirely within the Pi ecosystem, using Pi as startup capital for new ventures. For them, the value is in building something new, not cashing out. Others are motivated by community and vision, making landmark transactions to legitimize Pi and inspire others. Selling a house for Pi is a statement, a way to help solidify the GCV and encourage adoption. It's not just a sale, it's a contribution to a movement. These sellers are betting on a future they want to help create.
For house for Pi deals to become common, a solid system must exist.
First, the Pi blockchain must be secure, scalable, and reliable for high-value transactions. Second, there needs to be real supply and demand, enough sellers listing homes for Pi, and enough buyers with Pi to spend. Balance is key. Too many sellers or buyers disrupts the market. Third, legal and regulatory compliance is crucial. Real estate is heavily regulated, so Pi transactions must integrate with existing laws, involving agents and lawyers who understand both crypto and property. Contracts must be enforceable and protect both parties. Finally, price transparency and stability matter. Pi's value must stay stable around the GCV for long-term assets like houses. A transparent marketplace with visible sales and listings builds trust. Without these pillars, tech, demand, legal, and price stability, a Pi real estate market remains a dream. These foundations are essential for real adoption.
Selling a house for one Pi is just the start. Blockchain enables even more radical ideas.
Tokenization allows fractional ownership, dividing a property into digital tokens on the Pi blockchain. Anyone could buy a share of a building, making real estate investment accessible to all. Each token holder gets a share of rental income or profits from sales. This democratizes real estate, like buying stock in a building. Beyond that, Pi could power decentralized finance, DeFi, for real estate. Mortgages, loans, and insurance, all managed by smart contracts. Borrowers could use tokenized property as collateral, bypassing banks. Rent, insurance, and investments could all run on Pi, distributed automatically. The possibilities: transparent, efficient, and open to everyone. Pi could rebuild real estate finance from the ground up.
The vision is bold, but the challenges are huge.
The biggest hurdle is the GCV. Getting millions to agree on a fixed value and stick to it is unprecedented. External markets and self-interest will pressure users to sell Pi for less. Regulatory uncertainty is another obstacle. Real estate and crypto are both tightly regulated, and governments may restrict or ban such transactions. Building a comprehensive ecosystem is tough. Businesses won't accept Pi until it's stable and widely used, but users won't value it until they can spend it everywhere. Volatility and market manipulation are real risks. If big holders sell, the price could crash.
The dream could quickly turn into a nightmare of speculation and loss. These are fundamental challenges, not minor details. Success depends on overcoming them together. So, can a house really sell for 1 Pi? Technically, yes, the blockchain and GCV make it possible.
We've seen how belief, vision, and new tech could drive such a deal. The potential for tokenized, decentralized real estate is real and inspiring. But the leap from theory to reality is vast. The GCV's success is a human challenge, requiring trust, coordination, and resilience. External pressures from regulators and markets are immense.
Ultimately, Pi's future depends on its community. If they build a circular economy, maintain consensus, and navigate legal hurdles, the dream could become reality.
A house for Pi sale would be proof of a new, user-driven economy. Pi is a bold experiment. Whether it revolutionizes real estate or fades away, it's changing how we think about money and value.
The real question: can millions work together to build a world where you can buy a house with 1 Pi?